Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhova Kunja Vihari Jayo Radha Madhova Kunja Vihari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jayurana Madhova Kunja Vihari Jayurana Madhova Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, everybody. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naranam Namaskritya.
Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudhiraye
Mudiraye.
Ashtaprayashu Bhadreshu
Vishwabhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavata
Uttama Shloke
Uttama Shloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhavati Naistiki.
So discussion is going on about death. Yatana deha avritya
Yatana deha avritya
Pashay Bhagva Gale Bala
Pashay Bhagva Gale Bala
Dirgam Adhvanam
Neto Dirgam Advanam
Dandyam Raja Bhatayata
Raja Bhatayata
Yatana deha avritya
Yatana deha avritya
Pashay Bhagva Gale Bala
Pashay Bhagva Gale Bala
Nayato Dirgam Adhvanam
Neto Dirgam Advanam
Dandyam Raja Bhatayata
Dandyam Raja Bhatayata
Yatana deha avritya
Yatana deha avritya
Pashay Bhadva Gale Bala
Bhadva Gale Bala
Nayato Dirgam Adhvanam Dandyam Raja Bhatayata
Dandyam Raja Bhatayata
Yatana for punishment, they had his body avritya covering Pashay with ropes, Badva binding Gale by the neck, Balad by force, Nayataha they lead, Dirgham long, Advanam distance, Dandyam a criminal, Raja Bhataha the king soldiers Yatha as. As a criminal arrested or punished by the constables of the state, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification is similarly arrested by the Yamuduta to bind him by the neck with a strong rope and cover his subtle body so that he may undergo severe punishment. Yes, Supriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Every living entity is covered by a subtle and gross body. The subtle body is the covering of mind, ego, intelligence, and consciousness. It is said in the scriptures that the constables of Yamaraja cover the subtle body of the culprit and take him to the abode of Yamaraja to be punished in a way that he is able to tolerate. He does not die from this punishment because if he dies, then who would suffer the punishment? It is not the business of the constables of Yamaraja to put one to death. In fact, it is not possible to kill a living entity because factually he is eternal. He simply has to suffer the consequences of his activities of sense gratification. The process of punishment is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Formerly, the king's men would take a criminal in a boat in the middle of the river. They would dunk him by grasping a bunch of his hair and thrusting him completely underwater. And when he was almost suffocated, the king's constable would take him out of the water and allow him to breathe for some time. And then they would again dunk him in the waters to suffocate. This sort of punishment is inflicted upon the forgotten soul by Yamaraja, as well described in the following verses. Hare Krishna.
Following verses, ready, be ready. So those who are using Bluetooth speakers, please avoid them because your voice comes little late. So we cannot. Otherwise, now the internet is good speed, 5G. So we can be together. Tayor nirbhanna hridayaha.
Tayor nirbhanna hridaya.
Arjanai jata vepatuhu. Ati sabhir bhakshamana. Arto agham swa anusmaran. While carried by the constables of Yamaraja, he is overwhelmed and trembles in their hand. While passing on the road, he is bitten by dogs and he can remember the sinful activities of his life. He is thus terribly distressed. Yes.
Purport. It appears from this verse that while passing from this planet to the planet of Yamaraja, the culprit arrested by Yamaraja's constables meet many dogs, which bark and bite just to remind him of his criminal activities of gratification. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that one becomes almost blind and he is bereft of all the sense when he is infuriated by the desire of sense gratification. He forgets everything. Kamais tais tai rita gnanaha. One is bereft of all intelligence when he is too attracted by sense gratification and he forgets that he has to suffer the consequences also. Here the chance of recounting his activities of sense gratification is given by the dogs engaged by Yamraj. While we live in the gross body, such activities of sense gratification are encouraged even by modern government regulations. In every state, all over the world, such activities are encouraged by the government in the form of birth control. Women are supplied pills and they are allowed to go to a clinical laboratory to get assistance for abortions. This is going on as a result of sense gratification. Actually, since sex life is meant for begetting a good child, but because people have no control over the senses and there is no institution to train them to control the senses, the poor fellows fall victim to the criminal offenses of sense gratification and they are punished after death as described in these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Shutrit parito arkat davanala nilay.
Shutrit parito arka dhavanala nilai.
Tapyamanaha patitapta valuke.
Santapmanaha patitapta valuke.
Vittena prishte kashaya tataditas.
Vitrena prishte kashaya
Yasato api nirashramo dake.
Chalati
Abhinirudashramodake.
Under the scorches sun, the criminal has to pass through the roads of hot sand with forest fire on both sides. Is whipped on the back by the constable because of inability to walk, and is afflicted by hunger and thirst. But unfortunately, there is no drinking water, no shelter, no place for rest on the road. While passing on that road to the abode of Yamaraja, he falls down in fatigue and sometimes he becomes unconscious, but is forced to rise again. In this way, he is very quickly brought to the presence of Yamaraj. Thus, he has to pass 99,000 yogasanas within 2 or 3 moments, and then he at once engaged in the torturous punishment, which is destined to suffer.
Purport. 1 yojana is calculated to be 8 miles, and he has to pass along a road which is therefore as much as 7,92,000 miles. Such a long distance is passed over within few moments only. The subtle body is covered by the constable so that the living entity can pass through such a long distance quickly and at the same time tolerate the suffering. This covering, although material, is of such fine elements that material scientists cannot discover what the coverings are made of. To pass 7,92,000 miles within few moments seems wonderful to the modern space travelers. They have so far traveled at a speed of 18,000 miles per hour. But here we see that a criminal passes 7,92,000 miles within a few seconds only, although the process is not spiritual but material.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yojananam Sahasrani
Yojananam
Jananam Sahasrani.
Sahasrani
Navachandavaha. Virmurtairadvavyam pa.
Aha Prapnoti Yatanaha.
Prapnotiyatanaha.
Thus he has to pass through 99,000 yojanas within 2 or 3 minutes, and when he has at once moments and at one within 2 or 3 moments, and then he is at once engaged in the torturous punishment which is destined to suffer. So nice to hear. Beginning. अभी तो details आए नहीं है, अभी तो details आएगा. In fact, very scary to hear all this. There is a book, Laws of Nature. If you read that book, you will not be able to sleep for a few days because the details from here are given. This is in brief, in 3rd canto, in 5th canto, in the end, it will be more detailed. So there are 2 questions that somebody should be able to answer if he's a learned person. Sanatana Goswami says, Grama Bhavare Kahi Pandita. In ordinary village talk, people say, I'm a very learned man. And I accept that, Satyakurimani. But I do not know 2 things. Who am I and why I am suffering? So if there is God, how can he be so cruel? You see, in the material world also, on earth itself, sometimes the pain, unbearable pain somebody feels. We really feel sometimes God is there by such kind of pain. And now you see in the hell, the pain is terrible. We can't even imagine the pain in hell. This is like some change, sometimes you have money, you go to the bank and they reconcile 1 paisa, half paisa, So nobody bothers about that. Some banks made billions of rupees just by that because millions of accounts. They just, when you go to withdraw, they don't say 511.32. If that small 32 paisa they take away, nobody minds it. Yeah, take a keep. So suppose you have to give to your auto driver 20 rupees and 35 paisa. You will say keep, you give 1 rupee extra. You don't bother. But that can accumulate to a very big amount. Now, similarly, at least for a bank. So now, interesting thing is that the suffering on earth is like that small change which you can ignore. The real suffering is in hell. This is, many people have this statement, nowadays people tend to become more and more atheistic. They say that heaven and earth is here only, there is nothing, no other heaven. This is what we see in this world. You have not seen heaven. Like famous joke of somebody that even the toilet in heaven is better than America. Heaven is so much full of happiness. Such a beautiful place. It is said 10,000 times more pleasure is there. Sensory pleasure there. People are much more, 10,000 times more beautiful. So your eyes enjoy more. All the senses are more stronger. And just like small children, the senses are very strong. They cannot tolerate sweets. They will hide whatever they'll eat sweets. Okay? Because for our age, we ignore because anyway we gain weight. One problem. Children run around, they're exhausted. And secondly, that not so much senses have become dull now. They are not so much strong. There's a sweet taste, a sweet tongue. We don't have sweet tongue as the age goes up. We ignore it. So the more the senses are strong, the more is the pleasure. So heaven, there is an immense pleasure. Senses are very, very strong. And then we cannot therefore even imagine the pleasure in the heaven. Can't even imagine. So much material happiness is there. The problems of material existence are reduced. Disease, you don't experience much disease there. You don't find Indira getting cholera or something. No, they are happy. Their disease is almost brought to nil. Old age, almost you don't think about Brahma coughing. I'm 50-year-old now. Brahma is 50-year-old. No, he's still very young. So old age is almost not fully taken, reduced. Disease is almost reduced. And death also, because people at that moment just disappear from heaven. That's it. So what you see is only, just like in movies, what you see is the young people jumping here and there. The old age, death age, just remove that one corner because that's what people like to see. So heaven, these are all removed. When the person time is over, it just disappears from heaven. And the senses of, so problems of material existence are reduced and the happiness is much more. And in the material world, if you enjoy sex, then you have to take care of the children. There it's not like that. The children are not immediately born at the quite an advanced age so that you can enjoy life. So whichever way you look at it, there is so much pleasure there. There are beautiful gardens. The description given of beautiful gardens is there in Bhagavatam in many places in heaven. There is a place, a time where the Gajendra is having fight with the crocodile, and it's in a heavenly place. And the description is given so beautiful. So many beautiful birds, so many beautiful plants, so many beautiful fruits, flowers. So nice. So there is a description of heaven in different places. And many people hearing that become very attracted and make it a mission of their life to reach heavenly place. They're very attracted consciously to do punya at the right time, so that the right time, right place, to the right person, so that they can earn a punya to go to heaven. And to achieve heaven, what you need is punya. Therefore, previously, tapasya brings punya. Now you're sitting in your situation at home. Instead of watching movies or cricket match, you say, I will read Bhagavad Gita, punya. Tapasya means punya. True, spiritual activities are also have another account. But tapasya brings you punya. When you reject sense gratification, That itself is great punya. Punya means responsible behavior. So you earn some money. It's like today they are thinking about virtual currency, no? They're talking about virtual currency, Bitcoin, another thing. There is a virtual currency actually, which is very, very important. That is punya. Just like the big house we have taken near the temple, somebody has built it. Actually, it's like a palace in that place. One of our congregation has given us to use. It's a huge place. At the same time, you see the kind of wood they've used, kind of flooring they use, beautiful granite, very nice wood. And those who have been staying there or see that place, there's such a huge place. But the person who made that house did not have punya to enjoy that house. होता ना दाने दाने में लिखा खाने वाले का नाम, खाने वाले का जिसके पास पुण्य है and perhaps the devotees who are staying or who will come to stay there have punya to enjoy. So enjoyment comes because of real, just like your virtual currency they're talking about. Yeah, there is a virtual currency called punya that gives you material enjoyment, material facilities, freedom of time. You have a lot of time with you. That is your punya. But now left to you, how do you use it? You got extra time because you're responsible behavior. So you don't have to go and look in the hot sun for some food. You don't have to do that. You have some facilities, some privileges, some freedom. But now if you start engaging in papa, then you are misusing the idle mind is becoming devil's workshop. So therefore, all the freedom has to be taken away. And the Kala will take care of that. Yadai, Dai, Dharma, Sagrani, everything will be taken away, and the Papa will take its stall. So when we have punya, we have a good opportunity. Just like all of you, you are having a mobile to hear the class. Some punya is there. But this punya, you're utilizing properly, the punya will keep increasing. And then Papa is another current negative that gives you trouble and pain. So in the heavenly situation, we can enjoy much, much better than on earth. But what we need to go to heaven is a virtual currency called punya. And to go to hell, you need another virtual currency called papa. And most of the people, their understanding of spiritual life is not beyond heaven and hell. In fact, that's what they say in every religion. If you obey God, if you worship God, you'll go to heaven. But if you disobey his orders, you'll go to hell. There is no revelation of Vaikuntha. Most of the people don't even know Vaikuntha exists. It's some other place. And now we see so much suffering is there. I think we are hearing about so much suffering in the material world. The person is being taken from his situation where he was, and he is so scared of the when he sees Yamudutas, he passes stool, urine at that time, imagine horrible death. And he is frightened, he's trembling out of fear, he is being dragged to the abode of Yamaraj. And on the way, he is being welcomed and honored by the dogs who bite him and bark at him. So when anybody hears this, definitely it gives them a sense of fear. And a person starts thinking, how can I come out of this fear? What have I done wrong? And when the police comes and catches, every person knows the guilt that I have been a thief. So similarly, we know that we are doing sinful activities. God gave us a material world to live according to dharma, not to be independent and not need to follow anything. I can do whatever I want. You will be punished if you do that in the material world. Just like in a jail, if you do not follow the routine and the other thing, then they're not happy. In a hospital, also same thing. In a mental asylum, also we have come to the material world because we have to be treated. It's a hospital. But we are supposed to follow the routine of the treatment which is given. So therefore, we have choices. And Nivritti Marga, Pravritti Marga, that's okay. Nivritti means there is no plan of sense enjoyment. Pravritti means it is there, but it is kept regulated within Varnashram, and the rules and regulations of Dharma, it is kept regulated so that gradually you can enjoy also sense gratification under control, and gradually you can slowly come out of that. Okay. There are the rules of Dharma like that. But advanced rules of Dharma mean Nivritta, Nivritta Tashke Upigiyamana, or Vairagya Vidya, to give up all the plans of sense enjoyment. Many times people talk about this. You see, Srila Prabhupada in his instructions always rejects anything less than complete surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada does that. You read all his books. So that should be our goal, mission, okay? To come to the platform of having not even a single material desire, having in the heart only a desire to serve Krishna, no other desires. Not that heartily empty, but it has only one thing: how do I serve Krishna? We do love so many things in the world. How do I love Krishna? How do I love Radha Govinda? Yesterday we could ship them to their temporary place where they will be there for some time. Depends on how fast I finish in the temple building, some place for them. At least 3 months they will stay here. At least, I think. At least for me to finish the dining and other thing. So how they can be made comfortable? We love. We have a tendency to love, actually. If you put on a boy puts it on a girl puts it on a boy, or you put so many on your film star, cricket stars, you put your love, and they become our heroes. So people do like that, but this is only a recipe for frustration. If you can put our heart, our love on Krishna, then you see there is a recipe for immense spiritual happiness, which the world is not aware of. People know only heaven and hell. And that is what described here. And now so the question comes in the beginning, I said, then how can the Lord be so cruel? Because the Lord is not sentimental. He answered that many times. Because if there is some experience which will give us little pain, and that experience is for our good, Krishna says, proceed with it. Proceed with it. Krishna is not sentimental again. Some pain is there which will help us reform. Fine. Let him go through that. Krishna doesn't give any value to this crocodile tears of foolish or pains and pleasures in this world. Doesn't have much interest in it. Therefore, Krishna is presently quite udasina. He is there in our heart. He is witness to all our activities. He knows what is right, what is wrong. He knows 99% of our thoughts and activities are actually all bad against our spiritual advancement. But Krishna just udasi. He's just noting it. Noting, he doesn't have to make notes. He can remember everything. And just like if you have a very good friend with a good memory, he remembers everything. You can say, who is this person I am talking to? He's that person. So Paramatma in the heart doesn't forget anything. He doesn't forget a single prayer that you made in this life or many millions of lives. Mam Niyungsha, our Lord, please engage me in your service. If you say that once also sincerely, it's recorded. He wants to serve you. So the description is going to come so scary. So why does Krishna takes? Because he is not sentimental. Now suppose I take a knife and I take near your neck. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. You will be sweating. No. Please, please, please don't do that. And then he brings a knife near the neck and then leave it. So by the time you almost experience death, you are sweating, you are crying, you're full of fear, you're trembling. But actually nothing happens to the soul. Only body is torn away, dress is torn away. But because we are so attached to the body, we feel experience of death. And which is very, very painful. For the eternal soul, that is unusual. It just cannot accept it. Because we identify first with the body. But the body is torn away. And say, I'm still existing. So I'm not the body. So there's nothing to be so much scared. But the fact is, we don't have any realizations on it. Bhagavatam says, if you're scared of death, what is the use of reading Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita? But actually it is fearful, so much fearful. So Krishna has given us original purpose to become a pure devotee, come out of material desires. Every moment Krishna is giving us an exam for that. We accept that exam, we accept the purification process. Like to educated, we are put into a college. So Krishna has created the whole universe into a college of experience. And we are gradually being treated. We just have to behave responsibly to every exam and answer the questions properly. And never the questions are more difficult than what you can answer. Never. So what is the worry? Vishram Purna Sukha, whole life can be a joy if you look at life like that. Every moment, an exam given by Krishna is within my capacity to pass. But then who's going to define what is Papa, what is Punya? Isn't it related? I think something is Papa. I said, no, it's not related. Dharmam to Shakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Today it has become quite a fashion, to say Hinduism is a way of life. There's only you will say. Nobody says in the world. Nobody says their religion is. Religion means the orders of God. Dharmam to Shakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Prabhupada says we don't make traffic laws sit in the house made by the state government. Similarly, nobody can make the laws of karma, punya papa. It is given. So punya papa, as generally people perceive, is very temporary, and it is dependent on a person's individual. What you think is good or what is bad, that can change from place to place. But actually, punya papa is connected to the absolute truth. Punya papa comes, anything helps in spiritual advance, it is punya, which is destructive, it is papa. So if we can live a life responsibly, avoiding papa, that requires good association, avoiding sense gratification, without the rules and regulations of the Shastra. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka, ye Shastra vidam usrajya varte kamakarinaha naja siddhim avapnoti na shantin cha paramgati. A person gives us the rules and regulations of the Shastra and follow the religion whimsically, he will not get any happiness and no peace, no satisfaction, nothing. Not just siddhim avapna, no perfection, na shanti, no peace, na paramgati, neither going back to God, everything will be lost. So tasma shastram pramanam, the next shloka says we should try to understand what is the Shastra pramana. What should be done, what should not be done, should we learn from the Shastra. And then how do you know the Shastra? The books are there, you to read. And then you understand, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. And Krishna just doesn't give anything dogmatically, he explains very nicely. Okay. And then we can make tangible spiritual advancement. So we cannot be whimsical, hell is waiting otherwise. Hell is waiting. Okay? Just like Ajamila, he saw the Yamudutas. So similarly, do we want to see the Yamudutas or Vishnudutas? For the time of death, imagine everybody could see Yamudutas have come to carry us and they are whipping us. Krishna saves us from the embarrassment of being caught by the Yamuduta. They are invisible. But by those are expert people can know where he has gone. But just like time of birth, there is a horoscope is made. Time of death also the astrologers can tell. And there is a funny story. When Srila Prabhupada time when Prime Minister died, I'll not name him. And Prabhupada says he has become a dog in Scandinavia, in England. And he said, how? He said, one of my godfather, the expert astrologer, said that he has become a dog. Dog, the Prime Minister of India. So do you think it will be a very wonderful thing? That so many things you achieve, so much people say so many things, you believe that. And then in the next life, you're first taken to hell and punished and thrown in the body of a dog. Won't that be a failure of our life? So let us all take that opportunity to become successful in this life by accepting the process of Krishna consciousness and by attentively taking shelter of the vibration of the holy name and taking shelter of the scriptures. By hearing them, we can avoid an embarrassing, painful situation. The chance is there. Like Parikshit Maharaj knew only 7 days time, just heard Bhagavatam with great heart and respect and love. We have that opportunity. Arjuna had half an hour, 45 minutes. He also heard attentively. He took advantage of the opportunity. Bhagavatam also talks about more about one king. And his king was forgetting his name.
Khatwanga.
All experts here. Yes, Prafulla Mataji, thank you so much. Okay? And Khatwanga Maharaj was fighting for the Devatas. He came to know a few moments. He says, Devatas asking, can he bless you? So what blessing? Can you tell me how much time I have? Oh, you have very few moments remaining. That's it. So put me in the temple immediately. So Devata transferred temple. And within few moments, to surrender to Krishna. So, the opportunity, why not we grab the opportunity? Why don't we grab the opportunity? Why you want to wait for the end of life and there is no guarantee what consciousness we have, whatever stage of mind we have, we are responsible for that. Just like the body, whatever stage your body is, it is because of your punya papa, whatever stage of mind you are in, that is also because of our own activity, atmakritam vipaka. So let us take advantage and accept the responsibility and make the mind purified, calm like a lake, and in that beautiful mind, enjoy the pleasure of Krishna consciousness. It's all up to us. Every bird has to flap its own wing. Every individual can be guided. Finally, he has to flap his own wing. You can take horse to the water. You cannot make him drink. That he has to do. So we have to take advantage of the opportunity. We are extremely fortunate in Kali Yuga. We got in touch with the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Isn't it? All of you feel privileged to be protected by the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given through Srila Prabhupada. Take advantage and go back to God. Otherwise, you want to see this? You're taken, dragged to the hell. On the way, you're beaten, whips, and you're frightening. You want that? You want to see that? Or you want Vaikuntha Vimana to come with great honor. They make you sit on the Vaikuntha Vimana. And it is said even Devatas throw flowers on you. Because for them also, that's the success they want to achieve. Sammana. Your sammana, even Devatas do. Material sammana, what do they use? No meaningless. The amaninam anadina. Metal word, sammana or insult are all similar. It's all waste. But the spiritual word, that's real sammana. All the Devatas also throw flowers. And with great pleasure, you go back to the spiritual world. You want that? Ajamila also, we say so many mistakes that finally he become qualified for Vaikuntha Vimana to come because he grabbed the chance at his hand. Second chance. Some mistakes he had done. Very, very simple activity he had done. But when he got a chance, he purified himself and then acted on. See, none of us have done activities like Ajamila. It was unimaginable what Ajamila did. But can we get purified? Yes. Opportunity exists. Yes. You have to take that opportunity. Okay? And Prabhupada says those are intelligent, they catch the truth immediately. Oh, really? Hell, heaven, all this is true. It's true. So let me attentively take shelter of the vibration of the holy name, shelter of Srila Prabhupada's books, and get purified. It is said that by rising and setting, the sun takes away a day from our life, but not from a person who is in Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada said the person who is constantly pouring Krishna consciousness within his heart, he's not going to die. He's not going to die. No, he's not going to die the way we see death in the world. He will be just like a flash of lightning, thunder and flash of lightning. When he opens his eyes, he is there in the presence of Krishna, face to face, sitting with other coward boys, sharing some bhoga with Krishna, seeing Krishna eye to eye, okay? Smiling at Krishna, experiencing unlimited joy in association of Krishna. You want this? Or you want to be taken, whipped on the road and then thrown in a hot kadhai, and there are thousands of ways they'll punish you. You want that? There's so much unbearable pain in the hell. You want that? Or you want to go to Vaikuntha? Kevala Ananda Gam. So what I have to pay the cost? Only one simple cost. All the tapasyas, all the religion, all the dharma in Kali Yuga is summarized in the vibration of the 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Can't you chant now? Make it the mission of life. Keep chanting. Keep chanting, that's all. Otherwise, you want to see the hell. You want to see? Even thought of that is frightening. Many people read Laws of Nature book, don't sleep for a few days. Because we have been actually saved from a gutter of sense gratification by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Compassion, intense compassion. Great acharyas to create the missions out of intense compassion. We don't have compassion. We are preaching on the order of Srila Prabhupada. But Nami Ruchi Jivedaya, intense, when you actually enjoy Krishna consciousness, you feel so much pain for the people who are suffering. So Srila Prabhupada has done such a great favor to us. We have this opportunity, given us an opportunity, information, to catch this information, take advantage and go back to the spiritual world. You know, that heaven and hell, there was a nice joke. I think some of you have heard that. Somebody went to Srila Prabhupada and asked, Swamiji, whole life you're practicing Krishna consciousness. What if at the moment of death you come to know all this was bogus? There is no God, there is no Krishna, nothing. So Prabhupada said, what is wrong? Anyway, I lived a pure life. I did not harm anybody. I ate sattvic food. My life was a gentleman life. But just think about reverse. Suppose you come to know how smart is Prabhupada. Immediately counters him. Suppose you come to know at the point of death. You lived a life doing all sinful activities, not caring for the instructions of God, and not even accepting God is there, so why will you follow his orders? So you're indulging in all kind of, obnoxious activities. At the moment of death, you come to know God is there. What will be your condition? At least I lived a gentleman life. For you now, the hell awaits. So let us accept the instruction of the Shastra. And as we advance in Krishna consciousness, more and more we can be convinced of this and become serious. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So Riya Mataji, you wanted to ask a quick question. You unmute yourself.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I just finished my level 1. So I was just thinking how, in foreign countries, no one does any yagnas, but still, there is like enough rain and people are like, everything still seems to be okay. But in India, the temperature is like changing and the weather is changing over time. So I just wanted your opinion about it, Prabhuji.
No, see what happens. So suffering is not just external. See, you see the symptom of people taking a gun and shooting friends. That means mind is tortured. So the moment you break regulative principles, your mind is torn. And drug addiction, womanizing, intoxication is so high, so their minds are torn. Therefore, suicide rate is very high. And the divorce rate is so high. So it doesn't show symptoms that they are really happy. Material, just like Ravana took Sita to his kingdom, Lanka, right? Externally, you can say that he dragged Lakshmi, so he's very happy in Suvarna Lanka. But it was very soon destroyed. So similarly, Prabhupada you must have heard the story of Punar Mushiko Bhava. Punar Mushiko Bhava, Once there was a rat, and that rat, went to a sage and he said that cat is chasing me. The sage said, okay, become a cat. And then again he went to the cat, the dog is chasing me. Okay, become a dog. No, tiger is chasing. Okay, become a tiger. When it became a tiger, it was staring at the sage. Sage said, what? You want to eat me? Yes. He said, Punar Mushiko Bhava, again become mouse. But Prabhupada uses this and address to his devotees in America many times. He says that, see, by the grace of God, you become rich. So I do appreciate what you're telling. Grace of God is needed in that way. But because now with the opulence, you are neglecting God, you are denying God, very soon you'll become again rats. See, many civilizations, how many years you can see America's wealth? say 1940s, after the World War, America became a rich country. So you can say 40, some 80 years. Anna? Very soon it will go over. See, Roman Empire, is there any sign? Gone. Anna, in India itself, how many empires? Mughal Empire, gone. So British Empire, gone. State election, you see, parties above, then gone. So if things come and go, things come and go. So let us not be enchanted. And you know, the wealth, which is like Ravana getting wealth in the sense of Lakshmi bringing forcefully, was not sign of success. Let us not make that only as a sign of success, because it was a cause of his destruction. Many times when we become rich, we take it as the grace of God. We think like that because we think that's a sign of success, you know. Sign of success to become a pure devotee. And then you are really happy. Wealth or not wealth. Sudama was always happy. Money or not money. He was very happy always. So let us be independent of the material wealth. Be very happy. Leave it to God. God wants. Today what is happening in India, our focus has become only material. And we want economic development like the West at any cost. And the government or public is not bothered. The intoxication level is so increasing in India, isn't it? So high. The divorces have started increasing. Vices are increasing now. So that will be lopsided progress. So we should need a balanced progress where focus doesn't go away from cultural and spiritual enhancement, not only wealth.
Yes, Prabhuji, got it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
More balanced vision. Okay, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.